So for the last video in my quick tips in January, I thought I'd answer a question I got via social media, and that's where do I find my vocal samples from? Well, in this quick tip video, I thought I'd go through a few tips and tricks as to where to find the right vocals for your tracks. So at the start of this month, I set myself a challenge. I said I was going to bring you a brand new music production tip every single day this month. And we're now at the end of the month, the 31st of January, and this is the 31st video. So I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's been tuning in, everybody who's subscribed, everybody who's been sending me nice comments about these videos. I've been really glad that you've been enjoying them. And if you haven't seen any of them yet, then definitely check them out on my channel. They're all still there, all 31 of them. And in the last one today, I wanted to answer a question I got via social media, and that was, how do I find the vocals for my tracks? Now, this is obviously a massively important question. Trying to find the right vocal for your track can be really hard. So I thought I'd share a few of my tips and tricks for finding the right vocal. So trying to find the right vocal for your track can be a right nightmare. I've got a massive sample collection, gigs and gigs worth. And honestly, I get a bit tired looking through there trying to find the right vocal for my track. So I often start by going to somewhere like Splice. I have a membership for Splice, and I love looking through there for my vocal samples. Now, one of the best things about Splice is that you do have a whole load of amazing filters that you can use. So you can first search by vocals, for example. But then you also have a whole load of other filters within here. Now, my first tip is to not search by genre, or at least don't search by the genre that you produce in, because odds are those are going to be used first by the people that produce also in the same genre. So if you were producing tech house, for example, then odds are other producers will have already gone into tech house and raided most of the great vocal samples within there. So for example, when I'm producing something, I will often search for vocals within hip hop, or I might even go to one of the global genres, for example, or even some bass music. I usually go to the genres that you wouldn't normally think of. Maybe even something within soul might work quite well. And one of the greatest things about a service like Splice is that you can actually search by key. So even if you're not searching by genre, you can actually choose the key of your track. And then you know that the vocals that are within those results will actually fit within your track, even if they aren't at the same BPM or not in the same genre. Now, speaking of keys, my second tip is to maybe not search by the key of your track. Say, for example, you're producing your track in D. You could try searching for vocals in an F, and then bringing those vocals in and pitching them down 3 semitones. This will give them a more kind of darker, deeper kind of feel, and also make them less recognizable as the original samples. Now, when you're looking for vocals, probably the worst way to sort them is by popular, because these ones are going to be ones that are used the most, something that you don't want with vocals. You want something that's quite unique to your track. So one of the best ways of sorting it is probably by recent. This will show you the most recent sample packs, and hopefully those won't have been used yet. But what you can also do is order it by random. This will give you a random selection of those vocals. And if you don't like those results, then you can always hit the shuffle button and it will randomize them again. This will hopefully give you something that hasn't been used by somebody else. And finally, one of my favorite ways to find vocal samples that people aren't using is to look where people aren't looking. So go to eBay and have a look, see if you can find any sample CDs on there. Previously, before the online offerings of sample libraries, all samples were given away and sold on sample CDs. So search eBay for sample CDs or brands like Zero G and EJ. There's so many on there that you can pick up for very cheap, and there'll be a whole load of samples on there that nobody else is using. Yes, you are taking a bit of a gamble by buying something you can't actually hear, and sometimes you do get rubbish ones through, but sometimes you find those gems, those ones that just work and nobody else has heard them before. So definitely give it a try and see what you can find. So those are just a few tips and tricks that I have for finding the right vocals for your tracks. There's no denying it, trying to find the right vocal sample for your track can be really hard, and trying to find something unique that nobody else is using, well, that's even harder, especially when everybody has access to the same websites like Splice and Loopmasters. They can search up there and find the same vocal sample you're using. So definitely spend time digging for those samples, those unique ones that nobody else is looking for. have a look through Splice and look in those categories that nobody's using stuff from, or go on Amazon and eBay and find those sample CDs that people have forgotten about. That's when you're going to find those gems, those things that people aren't using, and you'll have something unique for your track. Now I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that has tuned in and watched these videos over the last 31 days. It was a big thing for me trying to figure out how to do 31 tips in 31 days, but I'm so glad with everybody who's tuned in, and big thank you to everybody who's subscribed. I've got lots more coming in the new year, so definitely keep subscribed, hit that notification icon so you're notified when those new videos appear, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.